What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video, we are going to be taking a look at the extra points week 11 5-minute fantasy. It's the booming and busting defenses. So, this week it was really difficult to find defenses that might be lower rated that are going to do well, and defenses that are going to be higher rated that might do poorly. I mean, this week it just felt like a lot of straight up. You had great defenses playing great offenses, and then you had some obvious, bad defenses playing great offenses and some obvious, you know, great defenses playing bad offenses. It's just all around. I had a really hard time finding you guys the the middle of the pack starts and sits that you're going to need. What we're looking at here is the Cincinnati Bengals at Pittsburgh. Now, without Chidobe Awuzie, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But at the same token, Pittsburgh got rid of one of their wide receivers, so that's going to take the sting off of that matchup just a little bit. The Bengals have a very good pass rush. They're very good at covering the tight end, and they have a better secondary than Pittsburgh has in the passing game. Their front line is really good, so that means that the Steelers aren't going to be able to get the running game going. All we're really hoping for is turnovers, because I know that Pittsburgh isn't going to be scoring high. The Texans versus Washington. Now, this is just me banking on Washington and their offense not looking like the 2014 Dallas Cowboys 2 weeks in a row. Just for some reason, they went into Philadelphia and said, "Oh, you know what? We have the best offensive line in the league," after 8-9 weeks of having the worst offensive line in the league. And I think it's going to come back down to earth. And the Texans have a very good pass defense and a good enough run defense that even though it's not as good, Washington's going to run the football. It's still going to take more time off the clock. There's going to be less scores. And while Taylor Heineke really doesn't throw enough to turn the football over, he's going to get sacked and he might throw a pick. The Saints versus the Rams. It's crazy that, like, if a year ago you would have told me that I was starting the Saints defense against the Rams, I would have called you crazy. But I mean, the Rams, they're just so disjointed with Matthew Stafford, out with his concussion protocol, Cooper Kupp not being there, the offensive line being atrocious, the running game being non-existent. Sean McVay has really had his work cut out for him this season. And the Saints just feel like a really good start because I think this is going to be a turnover game for them. And then the Broncos versus the Raiders. Broncos at home. Probably the best defense in the league are the Broncos at home, followed maybe closely by, San Francisco. But, I mean, honestly, the Raiders, as disjointed as they are, without Darren Waller, without Hunter Renfrow, and with Josh Jacobs not looking like, Barry Sanders, again, it's going to be a difficult game for the Raiders, and the Broncos are going to score points on them. Now, the Falcons, I don't like that matchup against Chicago. Chicago is a good stream versus most defenses, but if you're looking at those stats, you're not taking into account what Chicago's done in the last couple of weeks with Justin Fields just balling out of his mind. Same thing with the Bears. I mean, Atlanta looks like a favorable matchup, but I just don't like the way that it looks. With the Bears defense, losing two of their best players over the last month, they have given up a crap ton of points. I think they gave up like 50 to Dallas, 40 to Miami. What did they give up to Detroit? I think it was like 30 to Detroit. And I don't think Atlanta has as good of an offense as any of those teams, but they're still not going to have to turn the football over. They're not going to put it in harm's way. Cowboys at Minnesota and the Bills at Cleveland, or the Bills against Cleveland, might be at Detroit even. But those are two really, really good defenses that are playing some very good offenses. Now, Minnesota's offense is better than Cleveland's offense, but I also think that the Cowboys' defense is better than the Bills. So it's going to come out to about the same. Both of them I'd be very nervous on. They're going to be turnover dependent, and the Bills don't turn the football over. Now, the Vikings, they turn it over just a little bit more. Kirk Cousins airs it out a lot more than Jacoby Brissett does, but I think in this matchup, it's going to be more about the possession game, so passes out in the flat to Cook and Matson. Maybe get TJ involved, although I think he's going to be in there blocking a lot. And then Adam Thielen. This feels like a big Adam Thielen game there. But there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and stay up to date on all of our future content.